This welcome panel is just meant to bridge us as people arrive, and we will start with the, yep, come on, Clement. It's okay. It's a pretty relaxed format here in the Bullpen, Clement. So we're going to do some introductions. I'm going to start with Clement. We're going to hear a little bit about SmartLabs, our host for today, and then get some reflections on yesterday. We're going to meet James Zanewicz, who's going to be doing interviews all morning. I get a break, and he's so much better than me at it, so that's great. But Clement, maybe you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. So Clement Fourny, is this working?
Yeah, flip it. Yeah, turn it on, yep. There you go.
All right, that's better. Clement Fourny, so I'm the commercial leader here at SmartLabs. So welcome, first of all, into one of the 4 research centers that we have here in Boston. So I've been with the company for about 2.5 years at this point, also trying to fill the facilities that we have here, engage with biotech, biopharma, life science players that are in need of lab space, of course, but also operational support to accelerate their science. So that's what I've been doing with my team for the past few years. Used to be at GE and Danaher, so part of Cytiva for many years, about 10 years in different type of roles. So that's me in a nutshell. French, based here in Boston, and I've seen the ecosystem change tremendously since I've been here, which has been amazing. And then for us, if you don't mind, Christiaan, so we have actually a big announcement that was released this morning, global press release, where we partner with a global player, the global player in co-working space, flex offices, called IWG Regus. So they're everywhere, 4,000 locations in more than 120 countries, and with their support, my goal over the next few months is going to be to bring the exact same type of facilities that you're in today into multiple geographies across Europe, Asia, other parts of the US. So SmartLab is Boston-based, but we're now going into new markets, right, to help scientists in need. So that's us. So welcome.
You guys are, yeah, give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank
you. You have a venture capital model, right? In the end, you are venture real estate, venture also placement into the companies you're incubating, or talk about that model.
So we actually do not. So our model is very different, right? So there are organizations that provide access to venture capital, right, and also provide lab space. That's not quite what we do. What we do is it's really about giving scientists, whether it's small organizations or very large pharma, the tools they need to scale up their organization and really accelerate their science. So in the facility you're in, we can actually scale organizations from early discovery all the way to the preclinical phase, right? We have a vivarium on site. We can also help them get access to additional square footage. So again, start small in a shared or private environment and really take as much as a full floor if you need to. And then in another site that we have here in Austin, we can actually take customers to the clinical and commercial manufacturing stage. So that's really our model. It's really more about providing enterprise, quality tools to companies across the entire life science industry, regardless of their profile and their stage of development. That's really what we do. So we're not an incubator. Our model is scaling up and acceleration. But we can actually engage, obviously, with VC to support, early stage biotech that need financing. We do actually support flagship. We have gateway labs here in our premises, right? So they are, with our support, helping their portfolio companies to be successful.
Okay, so let's break down the facilities today. For you, it may be a little confusing, but we're going to get it all sorted out. We're in this main room today, which is beautiful, and there are breakout rooms. So when we speak to investors, the investor will move to a breakout room. If you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation, that would be great. When we pitch in the afternoon, the companies will be able to move into these breakout rooms, and you can talk to them. The forums are happening upstairs, and that's 3rd floor, right? Second floor.
Second floor.
Second floor. Yep. So you'll arrive via elevator to the 2nd floor. They have a lobby for their members, so we have to be conscious that people are working. And there is, if someone will point you to the way, but there's a hallway with 4 breakout rooms that seat about 30 to 40 people each in them, and those will be where our forums are happening. So you'll be moving between this room and upstairs. There are volunteers throughout the building, Bullpen members and folks within SmartLabs that are helping to direct us. Just ask somebody if you're looking for the international forum or whatever forum you're looking for. Just ask someone for now. There's not a lot of maps pointing out where you go. So thank you so much. And one more round of applause for SmartLabs. What a great gift they
Thank you. Thanks, Christiaan.
You bet. Okay, so Ray, you did a bunch of introductions yesterday, but I'm going to introduce Ray Jordan quickly. He is available throughout the day. Ray has helped us launch a fund for Bullpen companies. We've made 5 investments into companies. Those companies will be pitching later today. But Ray, maybe a little bit about your background.
Okay, sure. I come out of a career working with larger companies, overseeing corporate affairs, corporate communications, Johnson & Johnson, Amgen, and then ultimately pulled back into Moderna as they were facing COVID and going commercial. So it was great fun, but I was always hankering to work with smaller companies. Once you're inside a large company, you're not, the C-suite, you're not talking about mechanisms of action, you're not talking about science, you're not talking about, you're talking about return on assets, you're talking about portfolio management and so on. It's a very different scene. I was hungry to get back to where the work was happening. So I've been working with smaller companies now, both as overseeing family investments, and we've done a number in the biotech space, including a few with Bullpen members, and then as a communication and investor relations, stakeholder affairs counselor to some smaller companies. But the work with Bullpen this week has been focused on kind of our initial funding, pilot fund, where we've tapped the Moneyball companies and provided kind of an initial grant or initial funding for those companies, but also opened up a fund to allow people to invest with a fairly modest starting point. And our hope was both to build kind of an investor community here, give us a base for connecting, as well as basically to try to create a vehicle for funding, funding our member companies where that was possible. So this fund is diversified. It's across, it's across the 3 categories that we're operating with Moneyball. But in conversations yesterday, and I really appreciate the kind of reaching out that people did. It's certainly reasonable for us to consider doing more narrow-focused funds. At certain points, maybe we focus on just therapeutics or even just immuno-oncology therapeutics and so on. With the number of companies we have in Bullpen, it's certainly possible to look at that. We've talked with one coach about a different model of funding. So I mean, in classic Bullpen, fashion, the conversations have gone way beyond kind of our initial thinking on this. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the community.
We appreciate you, Ray, and we never had it as a goal to start a fund. What we have as a goal is to enable our members to do things that are good for each other. So Ray is a founding member, and he said, look, I've invested in several Bullpen companies. I'd like to have a more focused approach to the diligence process. Excuse me. And through that process, assistant coaches, internal resources have emerged from the Bullpen. It's hopefully going to get funded from internal sources and coached and move forward that way. So you've been an awesome leader, Ray. Thank you very much. Keep the conversations going. Tim is an assistant coach in the program. He does a few other things in life, but Tim, maybe you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Tim Glennon, CEO of Illuminations Strategy Group, and as Christiaan said, I'm one of the assistant coaches in the Bullpen for the pitch. I can't remember ever what we changed it to.
Moneyball.
Moneyball. I should know that from the movie, but anyways, it's just been a true pleasure. Background is 30 years in pharma. Started at Bayer with one of my colleagues who's in the room today, and from there went to Teva and then a couple startups, and raised a lot of money over the years. But looking at these companies, one of the things that's great is be able to give back. And one of our mantras here in the Bullpen is pretty much to keep helping others and keep repeating that process. And so for me, I really try to share some of those life lessons because we did take our lumps. We didn't do things right. And when I tell you we raised a lot of money, we raised a significant amount of money. And I've watched some of those errors along the way. So it's been a great experience. Really love coaching the teams. And as Ray said, I mean, and Dove can attest as well, you know, these teams that we have in the bullpen now and in Moneyball really have made a metamorphosis in the way where they started and where they are today. So it's just been a great experience and a lot of fun to watch too. And it's like the environment and the culture that's within the bullpen is just amazing.
Thank you. You're helping to make it that way. And I mean, yesterday was an amazing thing to see. We had a lot of little mistakes that you guys didn't feel because our members fixed it. You know, so when we do this, it's a club, right? And everybody's pulling in the same direction. It doesn't feel like you're a customer for the folks that are administrating this. It feels like you're a teammate. And that is the culture we're growing here. So thank you for everybody who has enabled us to build this environment, especially Tim. We're going to move to James Zanewicz next. James is early adopter of Bullpen, cheerleader, sponsor, leader. But James, why don't you talk a little bit about your background and what you're doing now?
Sure. I work for Tulane Medicine. This is my primary day job that I actually make money for, where we do corporate investor partnerships. It's not the technology transfer group that most people think of, but we're also looking for new products and services we could bring into our academic medical center and perhaps be a first early adopter. Do we have patient populations that are useful? New Orleans is an incredibly diverse city, so it's the kind of data the government wants to see. We have a lot of great creative faculty who are scientists or MDs, it could be key opinion leaders or scientific advisors. And as my job is knowing folks like you in the bullpen, if I have someone in my network I can introduce you to, ask. Always happy to make a warm intro for bullpen members. And then my newest side hustle is I'm also part of an investment fund called Maker that invests in AI and energy type areas. And the AI is focused on health and science. So anyone in that area should holler at me, and happy to make an introduction to the people who make funding decisions. I do whatever Christiaan and Kaylee tell me here. And then I also work with Bio and chair their academic industry network. So if you want to get involved with Bio as well, let me know. Happy to make introductions there too.
And you don't tell people this, but you're a scientist by training? Is that
By
right?
training, I was a chemist. I made paint and watched it dry, and that ended my career. I was like, this is not fun.
And then you became a lawyer. You went to law school, right?
I went to law school, and then I worked for the TV show Extra. I apologize for those wasted moments of your life. You've probably watched it, and a half hour went by, but it was fun. I was the executive director of new media, which tells you that I'm older than dirt.
And you also have an event that you host?
Well, we have an event that we more or less do together now. So Bio on the Bayou in October in New Orleans, October 28th and 29th this year. The Bullpens may do some little wraparound stuff around that again. We're excited to do that and get you all down to New Orleans right before Halloween. It's a really sad time to be there. It's so much fun. You will see things in the French Quarter that will amaze you.
I can't wait to go again. So James will be doing the interviews this morning. The investors that we'll be talking to will be filmed. You see some cameras going on, and we are going to produce those for sharing. We're going to be talking to the investors. We want to know what their mandates are. We want to know their background and how we can help them as a community. That's what's going to happen. We're going to then move up to the breakout rooms and forums upstairs. So James will be competing. We'll see who stays in this room and who goes upstairs. But before we get
It's
to
an
James,
option, not a competition.
Yes, it's a little bit of a competition.
I mean, if you come upstairs and see me, I might Cabbage Patch for you, and it's life-changing. We're going to let you know.
Okay, so we're going to move to Dove, Kalton. And Dove, introduce yourself and tell us what you do in life.
Sure. So I'm a general counsel and managing director at INTE Securities. We do capital raising primarily for startups, healthcare, a little tech, a little opportunistic stuff outside of that. I have a corporate and securities law background. I worked probably for around 25 years with life science companies. I helped set up life science companies. I've helped IPO life science companies and kind of everything in between. I got involved with Bullpen, I think, at JP Morgan around 2 years ago. It's a great community. I really like that there's more hand-holding of life science companies. I've seen kind of like the good and the bad with companies, and they have a hard time raising money. They have a hard time getting the expert people that they need to surround them with, and Bullpen does a great job of hand-holding, of bringing them the kind of the key opinion leaders that they need to help the company, the funders to help them, kind of run the show. And then I got involved recently with the fund that we're doing for Moneyball. I'd spoken to Christiaan about kind of, can we make a tighter connection between investors and the companies that kind of rely on the Bullpen, and he introduced me to Ray, and we got the fund off the ground. I think it's just a great opportunity for companies to, they get a little money, and also the coaching, the pitching that they're doing, it really kind of fine-tunes what they're doing and their focus, and we're seeing, I think, the fruits of our labor here at Bio. So it's really been great to see the whole process unfold.
Dove didn't know what he was biting off, and it's been a lot of work, and we're very thankful for Dove just persevering to get this done. I think people say start a fund. Oh my gosh, there's a lot involved, and you need to have a good lawyer to protect you. So we've got Dove, and then we've got a lawyer to check Dove's work, Fredrickson, if you know them. So
it's always good to have outside counsel.
We're making sure that we're doing this thing right. We got eyeballs on us, just to let you know. But thanks so much, Dove. I'm going to go through the schedule a little bit here. Pretty soon we're going to start investor interviews. So.